Have you ever wondered why, the moment the lights go out, your heart beats faster? Why in the darkness, your mind imagines countless frightening things? Is darkness truly dangerous? Or is it simply a mirror reflecting the fears hidden inside us? As children, we used to snuggle under our blankets, until our parents came back with the kerosene lamp, chasing away the monsters that lurked beneath our beds. Even then, we knew that light conquers darkness. But why does darkness scare us so much? Is it because there are real dangers hiding in the shadows? Or do the real horrors lie within our minds? Let's find out in this video. Why does darkness scare us? Does the darkness really hold any danger for us? According to statistics, more than half of all people around the world suffer from anxiety when it comes to the dark. This can manifest itself in the form of an irrational and inexplicable fear called nyctophobia, or it can present itself as a feeling of discomfort and uneasiness. But did you know that we weren't always afraid of the darkness? Until recently in history, humanity lived in a world full of immediate threats. During the day, our primitive ancestors could see predators from afar and prepare themselves to flee or fight. However, at night, their vision weakened, turning darkness into a thick curtain that hid the deadly claws and fangs that wanted to devour them. In order to survive, the human brain has developed a special alert system that sounded the alarm the moment the sun went down. That primal fear got encoded in our DNA and echoes in our deepest selves even today. However, darkness isn't just about wild animals hunting us in the night. It also represents something else, something much more potent and difficult to define: the unknown. In the dark, we can't be sure what's ahead, what's behind, or even where we are. We lose our bearings and become disoriented, and humans fear uncertainty more than anything else. Just think about it. When faced with two roads, we always prefer the one that's well lit and well traveled, the one where we can see the outcome of our journey. We avoid what we cannot foresee, what we cannot comprehend. In fact, according to research by psychologist Daniel Gilbert from the University of California, humans are hardwired to avoid loss. We take risks in situations where we can potentially gain something, but we try to completely eliminate the risk when it comes to preserving what we already have. Interestingly, even in love, we tend to be more afraid of losing the object of our affection than we are excited by the prospect of winning them over. Our fear of uncertainty is so strong that we would rather live in a world where everything is predictable, even if it means living in mediocrity. This fear drives us to make plans for every possible scenario, to secure our future, to control every aspect of our lives. But what happens when we can't predict the future or prevent it from happening? What happens when we experience loss? According to psychiatrist and author Dr. Justin Frank, the key to overcoming this fear lies in understanding its root cause. Imagine a young boy who was once unafraid of the dark. He grew up playing in the dark, never fearing the shadows. But one day a terrible tragedy struck. His father, who had always protected him, suddenly died unexpectedly. After his father's death, the boy started experiencing fear in the darkness. The reason for his new phobia: the sudden change in his reality. His life was no longer under his control, and he was now facing a future without the one person who had always made him feel safe. But why does this story help us understand our fear of the dark? Because it shows us how our fears are deeply rooted in our past experiences. It also explains why some of us are more prone to developing phobias than others. If we haven't experienced significant changes or losses in our lives, we may not develop such deep-seated fears. Interestingly, researchers like psychologists Erin Ben-Zeev have found that we don't fear darkness per se. Instead, our fear is triggered by certain sounds and feelings associated with darkness. In other words, darkness is just a trigger. The real problem lies within us. So what exactly is that darkness that frightens us so much? A renowned Swiss psychiatrist, Carl Jung, believed that darkness represented the unconscious. In Jungian psychology, the unconscious is a kind of psychic reality. It is filled with elements of the past that have not yet been integrated into our conscious personality. These elements can include repressed memories, forgotten experiences, and even primal instincts and desires. For Jung, the process of confronting one's unconscious was essential for psychological growth and the realization of one's full potential. By facing the darkness within ourselves, we can integrate these fragmented aspects of our psyche and achieve wholeness. Modern psychologists also suggest that darkness can represent our fear of the unknown and uncertain aspects of life. In a world where we constantly strive for control and predictability, the darkness can symbolize the experiences that we are not ready to face or understand. This could include our fears of death, grief, loss, or even our own mortality. When we encounter the darkness, whether literally or metaphorically, we are confronted with these unsettling realities, which can evoke a sense of fear and anxiety. For example, imagine someone who has recently experienced a significant loss, such as the death of a loved one. When they enter a dark room or step outside at night, they may feel overwhelmed with a sense of fear or sadness. In that moment, the darkness becomes a trigger that brings up all the unresolved emotions associated with their loss. Similarly, someone who is struggling with their identity or purpose in life may find themselves constantly seeking reassurance and validation from others. They may feel lost and uncertain about the future, and the darkness can symbolize this inner turmoil and confusion. In both cases, the darkness does not hold any inherent danger, but it becomes a catalyst for confronting the unresolved issues and emotional wounds that lie within us. It's important to remember that everyone's darkness is unique to them. Some may fear the dark because of a traumatic event that occurred in their past, while others may fear it because of the unknown possibilities that it represents. There are many who draw strength from the darkness, finding solace and comfort in its quiet embrace. In the stillness of the night, we can be alone with our thoughts, without the distractions of the outside world. We can reflect on our experiences, learn from our mistakes, and plan for the future. In this way, the darkness can be a source of self-discovery and personal growth. The famous Austrian philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "We can't see things as they are, we see them as we are." This quote highlights the importance of understanding our own perceptions and biases in shaping our experiences. What we see is not necessarily what is, but rather a reflection of our own inner world. This applies to our experience of darkness as well. What we fear in the dark may not be external threats or dangers, but rather our own unresolved emotions and psychological wounds. Our fear of the dark may be a manifestation of our anxiety about the future, our uncertainty about the world around us, or our own mortality. To overcome our fear of the dark, we must first understand the nature of our fear. Are we afraid of what we may encounter in the dark, or are we afraid of what we may find within ourselves? By exploring our inner darkness, we can begin to heal our emotional wounds and confront our deepest fears. In doing so, we can find the courage to step into the darkness and discover the beauty and wonder that lies within. Perhaps the darkness is not something to be feared, but rather something to be embraced. As the Greek philosopher Epicurus once wrote, the chief task in life is to separate things into two buckets: the things that are in our control and the things that are not in our control. Our fear of the dark may seem overwhelming, but it is ultimately a choice as to how we perceive it. We can choose to see the darkness as a threat, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the mysteries within and beyond ourselves. And if you're still pondering the depths of human existence, we invite you to watch our video on Why Do We Cry? Delve deeper into the psychology of human emotions and the profound impact of tears on our lives.